Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level gaming. Second level.
Hello, Internet, and welcome back, or welcome to Indie Please Add Details, episode 19. My name is Keegan, one half of Lob2 Gamers, hanging out with Tom, the other half. How you doing today, Tom?
I'm grand. I'm having a good day. I'm like,
Just getting started?
Yeah, I shaved my face, and as you can see, this was, mistakes were made. And it kind of started going a little bit, like, everywhere, so feeling weird and cold a little bit on the facial region.
I'm wearing flip-flops.
Yeah, you have a bushier beard than I do today.
Yeah.
But you are wearing shorts and flip-flops.
Yeah, because it's 35. It's a balmy 35 degrees here.
Right.
Which actually feels warm after being
compared to what we've been
negative.
used to, this feels great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So
I'm also prepared for Overwatch League. There's a reason I'm wearing this hat. I got my Philadelphia Fusion shirt. Overwatch League winter recording starts tomorrow.
Right.
Stay tuned for the podcast to learn more about that, because that's going to be my topic this week. But this is Indie Please Add Details, our weekly dip in the world of indie games and indie developers, where we discuss the news and our excursions throughout the week, topping it all off with a topic of discussion you can join in the comments down below. You can see our lovely faces on YouTube at level2gamers.com, or you can follow us on your favorite podcast platform, whether that's iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, other third-party apps that exist out there. You can continue the discussion after the show, off air, but online. On Twitter, at Level2GamersSTL, or you can hit us up in Discord, link in the description.
Wow.
I changed it up, but I made it through somehow.
Nailed it. There was not a stutter in there. There was
there was
really
a stutter in my brain. You didn't hear that part.
Okay.
It was like, oh shit, I went the wrong, because I'm very much in particular
I haven't
order.
yet managed to read your brain thoughts, but it's been a while.
I do want to point out too, Instagram. We never talk about Instagram. That's a thing. We've also talked about and revamping our Patreon at some point. We're gonna do that as well.
A lot of fun.
So yeah, Instagram's fun. I don't ever really know what to put. I've been putting, like, when I live stream, like taking a screen capture and putting it up.
Put random shit there. Like if I take a picture while we're here.
I love, by the way, when I'm like at work or something, all of a sudden like Instagram goes off. I was like, Tom posted a picture somewhere.
Yeah, put a puppy up.
Yeah,
put a puppy up. That's all you gotta do.
Put a puppy up.
Put a bird on.
It's way fun. It's a lot of fun. We're at conventions because you see, obviously, it's exciting, visually stimulating, as they would say.
And you get a little bit of the old viral video or two.
Yeah. So let's jump into Indie Please Add Details. Detail number 1. And what is an Indie Please Add Detail without PUBG? So.
Okay.
PlayerUnknown's Battleground. If you don't know, we streamed this last Sunday on our channel on Twitch, on twitch.tv/level2gamersstl. We're switching from YouTube to Twitch. We are going to put highlights. The goal is to put highlights up on YouTube and to put the full stream as a video on demand on YouTube, but live will be on Twitch. So
yeah, to clarify that, we're not just moving over to Twitch, just the live stuff. So if we're doing streams, that stuff's going over to Twitch. The best parts of that we're going to chop up and put them on YouTube, but otherwise YouTube will remain
exactly
normal.
as it is now.
Yeah.
But PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Xbox One gets a new patch with performance updates and more, which is good because I had 3 crashes. You had 1 during the stream.
Yeah, one big one.
Hayden had 1 when he was driving a car,
which was not ideal.
Which was not a good time. Mine was right when I was driving the car too. Maybe it's the car that broke it.
Well, you and me crashed at the same time, but you were the one driving.
Yeah. PlayerUnknown's Battleground was one of the biggest success stories. That's a lot of S's in there. Of 2017, and while the Xbox version of the game that released last month has struggled to match the experience of its PC counterpart, new updates are coming to bring the experience up to par, including the latest patch improving some of the technical aspects of the game. This, I think, is the biggest thing. Like, I feel like the gameplay is fine. It's the technical side they need to fix.
I played it this morning with this patch, so I can talk to it as well after you're done.
Cool. Over on the official forums for PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, a new patch and a set of patch notes was unveiled for Xbox One version of PUBG, as developer PUBG Corp has been working diligently to elevate the overall player experience of the game preview version of the title on Xbox. Significantly, the new update consists mostly of quality of life fixes. I always love that phrase. While working to improve performance and memory crashes that the Xbox One version has been known for since its debut in December. PUBG has acknowledged that there's still work remaining in order for us to produce and address all remaining issues, but the latest update seems at least on the right track to improve the game experience on Xbox One. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is available on PC and Xbox One. For a closer look at the updates for the most recent patch, you can check out patch notes below. Gameplay. Aim acceleration can now be adjusted by the player via in-game option. That's kind of nice because I want to change mine.
Yeah, I want to make mine faster.
Player weapon. Damage can be increased against vehicles. This would have been useful on the stream. We will continue to monitor player feedback and telemetry, make further balancing adjustments as needed in future updates. This one, I think you're excited about. FPP, first-person perspective, solo mode, or solo matchmaking queue will be available for North America, EU, and Oceanic servers. We will open other modes within the regions as concurrency allows.
And yes, I have played that.
Fixed an issue that caused indoor lighting and shadows to appear too dark and bluish. Analog stick acceleration added while exiting plane and while parachuting. Optimization, they optimize basic graphics going on, visual effects. You can turn music on and off now in the options menu, and address the number of crashes and UI bugs for multiplayers attempting to loot from the same source. To me, the big one, two big ones, the aim speed, because I think that's, not that that's what killed me, but that aided in the assist when I was last two.
Yeah, it's way.
I was like, oh god,
it's way better, but I still hate having to double click that button. I think it's
I think you should have to hold it.
Like, yeah. So even in first person, you still have to double click that button. It just doesn't make any kind of sense.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, never played PUBG, if you are your normal FPS game, right? It's left for iron sights and then right to fire. This you have to go like. You have to like do it twice.
What does left trigger do normally? I don't even know.
Nothing really. Nothing I can tell.
Is it a shoulder swap or is that the bumper?
I don't know. Like, I can't tell if it does anything, so I don't know why.
It might be the shoulder swaps. That might be it. So
well, my thought was potentially like they did it because they wanted it to put like an element of realism to it in terms of like you're not just going to be like the first twitch. Like you have to actually like
set it up.
You are going to be a little bit nervous, therefore it's harder to press the aim button. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean that might be thinking too hard into it. But yeah, it is faster now. It's way faster. It feels smoother. I still cannot win a firefight to save my life, which does depress me. But I think that's more to do with how kind of
new you are.
Not new, because I can win a firefight in other games. It's more so I feel like when you're moving, I guess part of the aim acceleration, like that is so slow to me that the sensitivity is just like I feel sluggish. I feel like I can't manipulate the character's cursor the way that I want to.
And I don't know if this. I don't think it has aim assist, but I'm not quite sure.
I don't believe it does.
Yeah, which makes it.
I have not
trickier.
noticed it, which definitely makes it harder.
Yeah. But the first-person perspective mode, that's been on PC for a little while. PC version is 1.0. It's full release. I knew you'd be excited about that because you said, I want to play first-person. I think shooting in first-person is easier.
Yeah.
Looking around, running around in third-person.
Noticing other people is harder in first-person, which I kind of like because it makes it more nerve-wracking.
But if everybody's locked to first-person, then you're all at the same...
Yeah, exactly. You're all at the same disadvantage. Yeah. But like when you're playing and you're looking around in first-person, it's a lot more of you only have a certain field of view. But when you're in third-person, you have a far wider scope, especially for like big open fields and things like that. You can see people running around,
which there's a lot in this game.
Which there's a lot of. So in first person, you have to be looking at that particular direction at that particular time to catch that person that's running. So I think it's definitely good. I need it sped up more, and I actually didn't know that they had enhanced some of that stuff. So I'm definitely going to jump in and see if I can change the sensitivity a little bit.
Yeah,
but yeah, it does feel a little clunky still. With
it's early access.
With like door opening and stuff like that. To me, is just it feels so awkward. And I don't know whether
also
they just need to smooth
I still have a major issue because we're both on launch Xbox. Or do you have the S?
I have the S.
You have an S.
Yeah.
I have the launch Xbox One, so I have an issue with when I come in initially, just textures not being there, things coming in slowly. Kind of but it's only when I first land. After that, I'm usually fine.
I forget what's the word for that thing again when you go back and back. And
rubber banding.
Rubber banding. Yeah.
Yeah. Lag is I think the biggest issue.
Yeah, because it's not a case of just like a little bit of lag, like stutter, and then someone's somewhere else. It's like you're kind of running, and then you go back 10 meters, and you're running. Then you go back 10 meters, and you're running, and you're like, oh my god, it's so annoying.
My favorite was when I was dead and I was spectating. I switched between I think you and Hayden. And every time I'd switch, you both were in different buildings. The building wouldn't be there, so you're standing like up in the air, and then all of a sudden this building pops in around you, and you're like, oh, there's everything.
Yeah.
But PUBG got an update. It's always good that they're working on it. I'm interested to kind of see how long this will stay in early access. Because the PC version it's 1.0, but it still has issues like everything else. But it's way better, and I'm glad that they're working, because this game, I think fundamentally right now it's just technical issues, which is, as we've said in the past, you can fix.
Yeah.
Theoretically,
the core gameplay is solid.
Yes.
The idea, the scope,
the looting, the size. I can't wait. I wonder when they're going to add the second map. I kind of want them to fix the bugs and then add the map.
Yeah.
Because why would you add more content when your base game?
Well, I guess the map's already underway for the PC crowd anyway. And
well, it's already out.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they have the 1.0, so they're kind of done with that side of things. But I don't think they'll release it until they're a lot more confident with the
Xbox version.
Yeah.
So cool. Moving on. Detail number 2. Hi-Rez Studios debuts nearly 1 hour of Paladins Battlegrounds footage at HRX 2018.
Glad this isn't a ripoff.
So I'm glad this, name-wise. So we've talked before a little bit of kind of Fortnite now has it with the Battle Royale. Paladins is now doing it. In Paladins' defense, they kind of need to do something. They were killed by Overwatch.
Yeah.
Extremely killed by Overwatch. What Paladins does differently than PUBG, and I'll read the blurb here in a second, is it's character-based versus everybody being generic soldier man.
It's like a hybrid of PUBG and Overwatch. Yeah.
So, I'm going to read this here. It's only been a few days since the reveal of Paladins Battlegrounds, the Battle Royale mode of Hi-Rez's class-based shooter, and the studios revealed pre-alpha gameplay footage of the game in motion. Though some may notice a lot of similarities between Paladins Battlegrounds and other games on the market, PUBG, the game mode makes a name for themselves with a host of different mechanics and entirely different team-oriented strategy. In the video, which will be behind us, the brand new Battlegrounds mode gets two different games with 2 different heroes. You get 2 different games with 2 different heroes. I'm trying to figure out how that would work. It'll probably tell us. In the beginning of the match, players enter a common area before being dropped via Zeppelin. So, airplane, Zeppelins, close enough. The heroes are able to summon their mounts to rush through the map, looting nearby houses for chests while the fog narrows the area. And while all that may sound relatively similar, the gameplay and strategies themselves bring the divergence needed to set this mode apart from other Battle Royale games, PUBG. Specifically, players take bolder strategies than the notorious tactical gameplay titles like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds are accustomed to. Thanks to the presence of varied hero-based special abilities, the combat looks more notably like Paladins than a Battle Royale game. In turn, the gameplay trends less towards stealth and more towards action. When enemies are down, they turn into cartoony chickens, which team members are able to revive. And while most of these chickens will be gunned down, there's still an option to run away from the action and hopefully make a comeback. Paladin Champions of the Realm is available free to play in beta for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. The Battlegrounds mode will be available to play, but isn't currently available. Will be also free to play, but isn't currently available. However, it should be open to the public before Q1 2018 comes to a close. Check out the hour-long video filled with gameplay and commentary from Hi-Rez Studios. I kind of want to try this. Like, I want to. Brian played Fortnite. James played Fortnite. I want to play like all these clones because I feel like, for me personally, I know you love PUBG. I feel like Fortnite will be the one I love just because the cartoony aesthetics. This, if it's like Overwatch characters with that Battle Royale, maybe this is it. I mean, I feel bad for PUBG, but they also didn't make the first Battle Royale game. They can't really say, hey, that's ours.
Well, they didn't come up with the idea of Battle Royale, of like, a large island that closes in and you have to make it to a certain area by a certain time, killing other people. Like, that concept's been around for a long time, movies, etc. But I think they were probably one of the first people to successfully implement that into like the core gameplay mechanic. There's games like, do you remember MAG?
No.
So there was MAG, which stood for, and this is cheesy, Massive Action Game, that was back on the PS3, and MAG was touted as having like, the most amount of players in an FPS scenario in like one battle. So you were in like a war, you were off in different factions, but you had, gosh, I can't remember, it was something like 64 to 100, maybe even higher than that amount of players in one.
It'd be 64
scenario.
Or 128 probably.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It's always multiples of 4.
I think it was over 100. I'm not positive.
Do you know why it's always multiples of 4?
Why?
Because computers, like mathematically, can handle multiples of 4 easier than anything else. That's why if you look at like RAM, it's always 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 32.
Weird.
Yeah,
Like
fun fact. You just learned something, guys.
I don't know. I think that PUBG definitely surprised me because I hated it to begin with because I did 2 ranks.
It's way more fun with friends too.
Way more fun with friends, but also
I was salty. I'm sorry for being so salty on the stream. I was real salty towards you. Because you need to get your shit together, Tom. This is a survival. You can't. We gotta survive. I loved, by the way, how we were like on the one we're at the end where we finished second. We were all over here, and you're like, I'm way back here. Oh, shit, I'm being shot. Because I thought about, because I had a Jeep, I was like, I should go back and get him. But then my head was like, if I do that, I will probably die, because I'm not good enough to save him.
I'm better at, like, finding the landing area now. Like, remember, this is the first couple times I'd really played it. So, like, when you were like, yeah, go to yellow, I'm like, what the fuck is a yellow and how do I get there? You know what I mean? So
do you know how to make your own point?
I figured it out now, yeah. I figured all that stuff out. So I think I'll be better next time. But
we plan on playing it again because it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah,
thanks to Hayden and Ben for playing with us as well. Thanks to Hayden for showing us a lot of
teaching
stuff.
us all the Xbox things.
Yeah, before the stream and on stream. But no, I'm excited for this. I'm also kind of like, okay.
I mean, it's free, so it's not really like they're encroaching. I mean, they are encroaching on market.
I never really played Paladins. I don't think I have it installed. If I do, I've touched it once just to try it.
That's the other thing. Like you said, like I'm in two minds. I mean, like half of me is like, come on, guys, that's blatant. You know, even Fortnite was kind of a little bit blatant, but I feel like.
But if we play it, it might be different. You don't know.
True, but also and
surface value looks the same.
I'm sure it is, but you know, everyone knows where the idea came from. But the thing that I kind of am torn about is because I hate when developers lose money on stuff that they are passionate about. And I don't want these guys that put together this game that is just not really taken off the way they would wished it would have to lose out on potential future revenue and things like that just by not including this because it's too similar. So I feel like you said, I'm kind of like, you know what, you got to do something.
Yeah, I mean, they were destroyed by Overwatch.
Yeah, and it's unfair. You know, I mean,
everything was destroyed by Overwatch.
Battleborn as well was.
Everything was destroyed by Overwatch.
Overwatch
has a league coming up, guys.
They just nailed it, and
they did.
It's almost a shame because the other games are good, but
I played Battleborn for a little bit, but Overwatch just had that. Partially, I think it was also player based, but Overwatch had just that little bit more polish. I think is why I liked it more. You
could tell the balancing was way better on Overwatch than anything.
I mean, it's Blizzard too, so Blizzard knows what the hell they're doing a lot of the times. The community's angry at each other, but the game is good. Moving on, detail number 3. I don't pull up my phone here because this is an email to us.
Oh, okay.
Good old Smug Craft has a price drop, permanent price drop, and a track creator. I'm excited to try this out.
Perma drop.
So, this is a press release from them. A major update for Smug Craft brings custom track creator and a permanent price drop. That's what I just said. Yay! Happy Badger Studio announces that the long-awaited track creator update will release Tuesday, January 9th. So, it's out now. As a free patch for all users on both PS4 and Steam. The track creator allows users to design their own levels using any of the 200-plus modular terrain pieces in the game, and even select settings like time of day and weather conditions. Users can upload their tracks, challenge their friends, and browse tracks created by other users worldwide. A much-needed time attack feature will be added to the game. I can see James going crazy with this. In tandem with the track creator patch, the price of Smug Craft will permanently drop to $9.99 on all platforms. So originally, I believe, was $15. Our players really love the single-player story mode, but we want to get more people playing multiplayer and the other game modes as well. The track creator should provide many more hours of enjoyment, and price drop should lower the barrier to entry, helping grow the online player base, says Ben, one of the producers. We actually talked to him. That's probably my big complaint with Smug Craft is I play online and it's like you can't find a match unless you have friends that have the game and you're like, well, that's not happening.
Right.
Smug Craft was launched in May of 2017 for both PS4 and Steam. The original game is a stylized hovercraft racing game and includes couch multiplayer, online multiplayer, and a quest-based single-player campaign. Every track is randomly generated with over 200 track pieces, so whether you're on a delivery run or racing against friends online, no two adventures are ever the same. Players can also customize their hovercraft fitting in their specific needs. Newcomers can purchase the game for $9.99, permanently reduced from $14.99 on PS4 and Steam by visiting your respective stores. Again, the patch will be out, or is out now.
Cool.
January 9th.
Good for them, man. I mean, obviously, we're big fans of Happy Badger. They are St. Louis based, for those of you that don't know, and we're from St. Louis too, so we like to support our local developers. They put a lot of heart and soul into that game, and I love that they made their Kickstarter in like the final hours. I love that they got their full release. Like you said, it is, because it's an indie game, and it's not even necessarily anything to do with, you know, a commentary on the game at all of how good or bad it is, but just because it's an indie game,
it's a small game,
less people have bought it, therefore maintaining a multiplayer base is way harder. That's why, you know, people like Paladins and stuff, even that, like, their game is free and it's still hard for them to maintain a player base. So, you know, the fact that they're adding this track creator, which you know,
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the stuff you put into a game to really give it some aftermarket value.
Do you know the Trials series?
Yeah.
Like the Trials series, their online track creator is probably their most popular thing.
Yeah.
Like, because once you're done with the base game, it's like, okay, now.
And there's people that are just so good at doing it that
I'm
like,
not.
It's a lot of fun to jump in and play those things.
See
Like
what people do.
Planet,
You also have the assholes that,
that
make the really hard things. Like, I'm never going to finish this.
Yeah.
But then you do have some really cool things that do come out of it. So I'm excited to see kind of what all it entails. I'm probably going to jump into it and kind of just see what it's about. Maybe stream it. Maybe do something with it. Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna fix this keyplayer.
I'm glad. I was driving me crazy.
I can't. We got a whirly dude. It's not going on. There we go. We had a twisty cable. I had
Twisty
to fix.
cable.
But yeah, I'm excited to try this out. I'm happy. The price drop obviously will help theoretically bring in more people.
Hope so.
But yeah, that game is. I played that game for a little bit when it first launched, and then, like I said, just because I couldn't play online, I feel like I stopped playing it because I'm not a single player guy in that game, and upgrading your ship was fun, but at the same time, it's like, well.
Yeah, deserves more eyeballs on it. So if you get a chance, check out Smug Craft. There'll be trailers and footage and stuff behind. But it's a fun little title by a great little company, and you can tell that can't be a small implementation.
No,
you know what I mean. So they're putting a lot of work into maintaining those servers and maintaining that level of creativity in the game. So give it a shot, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. But it's $10.
Try it out. This next one I actually sent to you. Detail number 4.
I still don't know what it is.
The Station announced for PlayStation 4 alongside a new trailer. Today, it was announced that indie title The Station will make its way to PlayStation 4 consoles next month. I don't know why that's... Oh, multiple PlayStation 4 consoles. Got it. I was like, wait, why is that consoles plural? A new trailer and a few screenshots were revealed celebrating its imminent release. The Station is a first-person exploration game where players will use an augmented reality heads-up display to investigate a research station that has suddenly gone dark. You will accomplish this by examining audio and visual feeds from various occupants. Your equipped AR device materializes each point of interest as an orb. Activating them will reveal certain crew members' thoughts and decisions while on board the now derelict station. Thanks to the implantment recording device, these feeds were created when someone endured a certain amount of stress or other emotions. As you discover each orb, more and more information about your investigation will be revealed. Any clues you find throughout your adventure will be recorded in the tab menu that, I assume tab stands for something, that you can continue to use to find on your map, inventory, and objectives. The menu acts as a physical object through the AR hub, so you can drop it in front of you, or walk around it, or drop it somewhere else at any point in time. The station will launch for PC via Steam and PS4 on February 20th, 2018. So what I gathered from it, do you know Tacoma? Are you familiar with Tacoma at all? From Fulbright, Steve Gaynor?
Haven't actually played it, but
have you seen it?
It is, yes.
So I got Tacoma vibes from this. I think Tacoma's probably going to be better than this. I trust Steve Gaynor. I don't really know this, but I've not played this based on the trailers alone.
It sounds to me like it's going to be a walking sim.
Yes.
It doesn't sound like there's going to be any action in it, but I do love exploring spaceships, and I like walking sims. There's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah. I sent you it because it was a derelict space station.
I like derelict space stations. But, it doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of combat. It's more so just like you're unraveling a story. So who knows? I mean, as long as the story's good, the game will be good, but it really is going to just depend on that. Like, are they telling it a nice narrative tale? Are they doing it stylistically, or is it just a trudge through empty spaceship and occasionally reading something? Because that's going to be terrible.
And I want to know what kind of story. Is it a horror story? Like, are we finding out what happened? Or
he said moments of extreme stress or duress when they recorded those things. So I'm assuming there is probably something occurred on that
event.
Yeah, and it might be. Who knows? Who knows? I'm definitely looking for more information. The trailer does not give anything away at all.
No, so you're on a spaceship. That's all it tells you.
I'll keep my eyeballs open. Yep.
What detail are we on, number 5?
I think so.
Detail number 5. Nindies, New Year sales, hits Nintendo Switch eShop, Death Squared, Thumper, and more discounted. It's no secret that Nintendo Switch has been a great haven for indie games since its launch last March. Side note here, did you know that the Nintendo Switch has sold more units in Japan than the Wii U did in its lifetime?
No.
So,
it's crazy.
Gives you an idea of what's going on. Several multi-platform indie titles have sold the best on the console/hybrid. And the Switch itself is home to some really great exclusive indie games too. To kick off 2018, several indie developers have partnered to hold a Nindies New Year sale on the Nintendo Switch eShop. The 9 included titles in the sale are all discounted up to 35%. The sale will run until January 15th in North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. Sorry, Japan. You can check out the full list below, which I'm going to tell you right now. Death Squared, 25% off. It's $11.24. Goner? G-O,
Goner?
big N-N-E-R.
Sort of raging goner.
$6.99, 30% off. Graceful Explosion Machine, $8.99 is 30% off. Inverses Deluxe, $9.74, 35% off. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, I recommend that one immediately.
You played that.
$9.99, 33% off. Semispheres, $6.99, 30% off. Severed, $9.99, 33% off. Thimbleweed Park, that's another good one you should get.
I've been looking at that.
$14.99, 25% off. And Thumper, that's a no-brainer.
Hands down,
Unless you have PlayStation VR and then get it in.
Yeah, VR is the best Thumper experience you can
33%
have, but I do like the idea of taking that on the go. It's very much a couple minute experience at a time type situation. So, yeah, that's great, man. It's great that they're supporting the indies on the console. We've talked about this at length in previous podcasts, where how Nintendo really seems to be embracing that. We are not as happy with the prices, so it's kind of nice that they're going ahead and doing a sale on this, because they don't really do traditional games on sale, so it's almost like the indie guys have had to come out themselves and just be like, please, Nintendo, let us knock down the price of our
developers
stuff.
are also holding a giveaway where one person can win all 9 games included in the Nindies New Year sale for free on January 11th. You can check it out. There's a Gleam link, so the link is going to be in the description to go to this article.
Gleam.io.link.
Well, it's going to actually have a unique link, though.
Okay.
So
click the article.
The dual shockers, and then at the bottom of the article, there's a link to go to the Gleam.io to enter the contest to potentially win all 9 games for free.
Sweet.
That's like
it's a good deal.
$90. Well, it's over $100 based on price, because a couple of these are over, some are under. It's probably close to $100. Last detail, Tom. Detail number 6.
Do it.
I added this morning. I got to pull it up because it's in my email again.
Let's go.
Spearhead Games reveals fate-shaping adventure Omen Site.
Say that 12 times fast.
Spearhead Games reveals fate-shaping adventure Omen Site.
Okay.
I'm going to read the press release.
I don't know what any of those words mean, so fill me in.
A vision of havoc, an entire world destroyed. Your only lead, a mysterious murder. With the power to witness and alter the last moments of Euralia's inhabitants, it's up to you to piece together a chain of events that doesn't end in a disaster.
Doesn't end
in disaster.
Okay.
You're the Harbinger, a skilled warrior who exists outside of time. You have foreseen the annihilation of the lands known as Euralia and have been summoned to rewrite its fate. Serve as the eyes and the sword of Euralia as you identify characters who could have played a part in the story of its destruction, like a war general or a powerful sorcerer. Appear alongside these characters, discover how they chose to spend their final moments. Will you fight them? Will you fight with them or against them? By participating in faithful events from the different perspectives, you'll learn valuable information about specific decisions, about how specific decisions unfolded. When those certain decisions call for battle, make use of the Harbinger's sword techniques and creatively combine time-slowing spells or the other abilities to eliminate the threats. Using power of Omen Sites to weave a new narrative, pave the way for a bright future, and give the world of Euralia a second chance. And then they go on to give a little speech. But this is basically from the guys who did Path of Destiny. So this is, quote, when we released Stories, The Path of Destinies in 2016, which is a great game, by the way. I loved it.
Solid.
We were thrilled with the response to its narrative structure, says Malik, sorry if I butchered your last name, Bakira, creative director of Omen Site. Players told us they enjoyed manipulating time to collect all the different endings in the game. With Omen Site, our new original title set in the fresh universe, we're taking this a step further. We would like to call it a narrative puzzle, and it will extend to a range of diverse characters in Omen Site. And we can't wait to see how the players navigate the intricacies of these characters' actions and reactions to solve the mystery of Euralia's demise. Patricia Sumnet, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Julie and Casey, We Happy Few, are among the talented group leading the voices to Omen Site's characters. Omen Site has a stellar writing team, including Nadim Bakura, Stories Path of Destinies, and Janice Davis, who I actually met at Wizard World a couple years ago. The Holders Dominion, with Chris Avalona, Fallout New Vegas, Torment, Tides of Nura and Prey, Nura, assisting with the script. If you're at PAX, you can get hands-on if you're at PAX South.
And what's this game called again?
Omen Site.
Oh, it's just called Omen Site.
Yeah.
All right.
So the trailer is actually really good. So it's a cartoony style looking game. So did you ever play Stories, Path of Destinies?
I saw you play it.
So you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's similar art style to that.
Okay.
And it's really, really actually very intriguing. Like, it was one of those things, you know, we get these emails all the time and we kind of flood through, like, is this good? Like, I got another email from another developer that was like, that game doesn't look as good. Because I told you before we went on air, Newsweek was crazy last 24 hours. But this one caught my attention because I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, this actually looks really good. And I love Stories. So I've already bought in a little bit because they proved they could make a good game. So I'm excited to see kind of what happens here with this.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is interesting enough. You go and witness an event, decide which side you want to fight on. I think it all is going to come down to the gameplay, honestly. I feel like the story, they talked a whole lot about story and narrative and the puzzle solving through the narrative and things like that in that article you read. But I think until I see some like hard footage or and I'm sure we'll probably find some, but until I see something or play it or something, I'm gonna hold my breath tentatively, because even though it does sound like a lot of fun, like this type of game is made or broken on its gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, we've got screenshots, we've got trailers that we can put up behind us. So thank you, devs. Again, we got emailed that from them.
Omen Site, check it out.
See what it looks out. But I'm going to show you some of these environments. And you can see them behind us, but like they're kind of cool looking, and that's what got me again. The art style, you know, I'm a cartoony art style fan.
Yeah, this is almost that kind of fireworksy.
Yeah,
art
I'm interested to see how it all pans out here.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, I'm excited. They don't have a release date. It looks like initially it says PC only, so I don't know if it's coming to console, but I hope they do because I know what they do with Stories is they released it on Steam, and then they brought it to console later on. So I hope to do that again with this. But that is your details for this week. We had PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds get a update on Xbox One. Hi-Rez Studios debuted 1 hour of Paladins Battlegrounds. Smug Craft got a price drop, not a price drop, and a track creator. The station announced for PS4.
Over here, dude.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
The Nindies New Year's sales going on, and Spearhead announced Omen Site. So I'm excited about that. Let's move into our spotlights. And my spotlight this week, I feel like I need a disclaimer because we got the key from the developer, but I'm not happy.
What's wrong?
It's not a very good game. It's got good elements, but overall, I'm going to tell people to be wary of it. So it's called Energy Invasion. Okay. So do you remember back in the day, Brick Breaker?
Super generic name.
Yeah. Do you remember Brick Breaker?
Yeah.
Do you remember like DX Ball? Did you ever play DX Ball? Like it's a clone of Brick Breaker. This is Brick Breaker, but instead of using the ball that you hit with the paddle to break the bricks, you have to hit the ball up and then you shoot projectiles out of the ball to break the bricks. So you have to focus not only on the ball that's bouncing around, but you have to focus on where the projectiles are, and you can't aim them very well. So the core mechanic of the game, I think, is not very well done.
It's not 360-degree firing. It's like just left, right, up, down.
That's what. It's got like it seems like 45 degrees because I can like angle it sometimes, but there's no real rhyme or reason to what angle it's coming out. I feel like if I push up, it's gonna go up, but if I like push top right, sometimes it goes right, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes where I want it to go. So this game, I played a little bit of it. I played probably close to 2 hours of it. It was one of those games that like it was enjoyable for the first like 15 minutes, and I'm sure it'd be one of those games I could jump in and out of. But extended play, I was like, while recording, and you know how this is, I was like, okay, you either want to keep going or you're like, I'm done with this game. And this was very much I recorded it just for the show, and it sucks to say that because I hate being like because people put time, effort into these type of things, but I also want to say
disliking things.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like, I want to love everything.
But the reason behind it, and I think as long as we give a reason for why we don't like it, is again the core mechanic of the game. The things I like. Let's start with that. I really like the Brick Breaker games. I'm a big fan of those type of things. The music is good. It's a bit generic for my liking, but it is electronic music. It matches the fucking psychedelic theme going on. It's great. Level design, from what I played, was diverse enough. There are things that come in, and I don't want to ruin it, but there are things that come in to put a twist in the Brick Breaker formula when it comes to, I'm going to call them enemies. Okay. There's things that happen within that you have to react to.
Ain't just the bricks.
Yeah, you have to react to them.
Gotcha.
I like that the projectiles you shoot out, your paddle can also bounce those back up. but once they hit a brick, they disappear, like that. What I don't like, again, the controls of the projectiles, I feel like I just was spamming it the whole time. You use the right stick to shoot the projectiles, and I was just like spamming it. It's like, oh, I gotta go to the right. I'm gonna hit this up, and I just would bounce the ball up and down in the middle and just shoot right and left. That's what I did most of the time. Or if there's something above me, I shoot it up. And it just felt like there's no strategy involved, or I was not either that, or I just was not good enough. But it's not a complex game. The music, like I said, got a little repetitive because it's just super generic, and it felt like the same thing. The visuals were outstanding when it came to, like, when you finished a level, it was like this kind of like warp style rotation thing going on. I was playing. I first played it online when I was in chat with Brian and David, and I was like, dude, if you guys need to drop acid and play this game, that's what it reminded me of, some sort of acid trip. But there's not enough diversity in the game. The levels weren't different enough to keep me going. There is a campaign mode. There is a wave mode. I don't really know what to call it.
Horde mode.
Yeah, and then there's an endless mode where you just play until you go on. So, like, the campaign mode, you have a certain number of lives to get through all the levels, and it tells you percentage what you're through.
Is it like a Brick Breaker style game in the fact that there's like 1 billion levels, or is there only...
I don't know. I made it through probably 12 to 13 levels, and I was 8% done with the campaign.
Oh,
so
okay. So it's probably quite a few.
Yeah. And then the invasion mode was the other mode, was the name of it. And invasion mode was more of, you have 15 lives, and the way it works is the bricks fall down the screen, and you have to get it before it hits the bottom of the screen.
Gotcha.
So I kind of liked that was different.
Tetris.
And then the last one was endless mode, which, like I said, is just you'd play until you run out of lives. And again, it was just not a great game. I don't know how else to say it. Like, it was very generic. It was one of those games like,
you just wish there was something that, like, some secret sauce that separated it out a little.
Yeah, or if the levels were slightly, like, there's no power-ups. Like, maybe power-ups would add to it, or I just didn't find them or something. But if they had, like, power-ups of, like, okay, now you're when you shoot the bomb, the bomb's going to explode and take out 4 bricks at a time.
More like Super Starship or something.
Yeah, I just felt like it was the same thing over and over and over again. At some point, you just repetitive, and like I said, in 15-minute bursts, it's fine.
Yeah.
But once you start getting 20, 30 minutes in, you're like, I kept looking at my clock, like, how much longer do I have to go?
Right.
Type thing. So I hate saying I don't like a game, but I want to justify why I don't like the game. And if you like those type of games, go check it out. It is a decent game. I don't know what the price is on it, but I was kind of let down by it, to say the least. And it sucks to say that, but Energy Invasion, I would say kind of skip for now. Wait, potentially see if it goes on sale at some point, but it probably would be really good on the Switch because it's that 15-minute cycle thing.
I would like a Brick Breaker game on the Switch. I think it would be ideal for that.
But if the developers are watching and or listening to us, if you guys put in like a power-up mode, I honestly think, I've just sitting here, it came to my brain, that would like be enough to make me like the game, because it would break the monotony of what's going on.
Yeah. So occasionally when you shoot a brick, something falls down that gives you like
lasers or
different gun together,
or something happens to the
balls.
It's
odd that they didn't do that. And I mean, so it sounds like if you played 12, 13 levels and you didn't see anything similar to that, then it's probably not there. But maybe if it is there and we just haven't got that far, then it needs to come in earlier,
sooner.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's my spotlight.
Cool.
This week, nice, short, sweet. You got anything this week, Tom?
I do.
What do you got?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I debated doing PUBG for a little bit just because I thought, why not? But I'll spare you that. So, no, I played a game called The Silvercase. It was on PS4. Now, The Silvercase is kind of a release, or a re-release rather, of something, some early works of a certain Mr. Suda51, who is, as we all know, batshit crazy. So Suda51 is one of my absolute favorite game developers. I loved Lollipop Chainsaw. I loved, the fucking name is escaping me now, but it's like Shadow something, or it was like a Resident Evil style thing with a guy in a purple shirt, and he had a gun that was a skeleton head. It was cool, and you had a gun that was called like the Boner and stuff. Someone remind me what that is. Either way, that was incredible. Shadows of the Damned. There you go. And just everything the guy does is super weird.
25 levels in Invasion, 25 levels in Linear, and Endless in Endless mode.
Oh, so it's not that many levels, I guess.
I'm just making sure I could get those numbers there for you.
So Suda made this kind of visual novel, they call it, but it's a little bit more than that. So I didn't really know what to expect. Like, visual novels don't tend to be my thing. I don't mind as long as I get some kind of say in what's going on. Like
what
with
if he
Far
gets turned on?
With Far From Noise, you know, like that's essentially a visual novel, but you actually have to choose the dialogue, so you feel like you have some kind of a say in what's happening. But yeah, so the Silvercase does run a really long time before it lets you do anything. So essentially, you are you're kind of like on this weird police force, and you're mostly like a back character. Like you're like kind of like just grunt number 3 or something, you know, and like a lot of other characters take the foreground in the story and the narrative and everything. But you just kind of sit there and essentially watch this super hyper stylized anime play out. It has the worst dialogue you've ever seen. Everything is fuck this, shit that. Like it's just like Suda just went crazy. Like he just learned English swear words and just threw as many as he could do into, you know, it's a lot of that. And you're basically, it's this kind of like neo-noir tale in like, you know, Japan or whatever it is, about this serial killer that you have to track down, or this like these kind of like high priority crimes that you're there to stop. And the very kind of start of the game has you just watching and reading a lot for maybe 20-25 minutes solid before you start doing any gameplay.
Okay, see how it'd be done.
Well, that's the thing. I thought it was a visual novel anyway, so I was kind of in for it just to kind of see where it went. And then at a certain point, they started addressing you by your name or whatever name you entered. In my instance, I was boring and just put Tom, but at least I knew it was like, oh shit, they're talking about me. So, because I wasn't expecting...
You didn't put Bumblefart? That's how you really know.
Well, yeah, you would figure that out. But I never thought they were going to put me in the game. I thought I was just watching. And then suddenly, like, it's like, okay, you've got to navigate this floor and find a control panel or whatever. The controls are... Hair's one in my mouth. The controls are so weird. So you have, and try and stick with me on the explanation here. And even in the game, they're telling you these controls are really fucking hard, but you'll get used to them. Like they say that. So you have this spinny wheel that has 4 letters on it: M, C, like T, and A, or something like that. You have to spin the wheel with the left stick to put one of those letters at the top, and when you click that, that's the thing you're doing. So if you go to M, M stands for movement. So if you want to move left, right, up, down, you have to go to the M, click into it.
So it's not very actiony.
No, not at all.
Because if you had action, you'd be fucked.
Yeah, I mean, it's super. Yeah, it's super like, just like sluggish the way that you do anything, and then you're like, you'll move from here to this spot, and then here to this spot, and you can maybe turn left to look up or down, and then if you look down and you see the thing that you need, you got to go out of the move menu, swap over, go into the control menu, and then it's like, okay, search for the thing, control, and then you'll do something. And then, but they don't really explain it a lot more than that. It literally, like, I'm going to cut it out of the gameplay footage that I upload to the channel because it was embarrassing. But like, I literally for like 5 solid minutes was like, what is happening? Like, I thought, because like, I was looking at this little, because you have this tiny menu. The screen is like this. Yeah. There's this tiny menu on the screen that you're in, and that's like first person. So you're like, to you, it just looks like the background, because the whole background is so busy. There's consistently words and lines flashing up on the screen and little things popping up. So it just looks like part of everything else. So it's very difficult to kind of center yourself and think, okay, that little box is me, and I have to use this little box to move, and then I can only go forwards and backwards, left and right. And super weird. Like, definitely like one of the weirder control schemes I think I've ever played in my life. But sure as shit, after a while, it did actually start to become pretty familiar, and it was frustrating to navigate, but I could navigate it. And
well, we tell like, games to do new things.
Yeah,
that's a new thing.
Well, it's an old thing that never carried forward, I suppose. But I don't know what that says about it. But it's definitely unique. It's definitely unique. But you know, I expect nothing less from Suda 51 and Grasshopper. But yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. Like it's weird. I find it hard to shit on the game, but you definitely have to know what you're getting into. Like, stylistically, it's very pretty. The dialogue is kind of so-so. The story's fine. The story's like a typical...
serviceable.
Yeah, if you like anime and you like sort of serial killer stories, it's both of those things in one go. There's definitely some darker sort of horror elements that are creeping in, which I'm starting to like. But it is super fucking bizarre, the way that everything plays. So I could understand why people would want to kind of be standoffish of it for a little bit, just because I know there's supposedly a sequel on the way as well, but I could understand why people would want to be standoffish of the game just based on the trailers and things like that. But it is kind of, if you like the Suda humor and the Suda style, it's worth a look. And it's not expensive. It's like in that sort of $10 price range.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say I didn't love it, but I definitely didn't hate it. It was just kind of unique and unlike anything I've ever sort of played / watched before. So buyers beware on the controls, but other than that, watch the gameplay footage on the channel, see if it looks like your thing, and if it looks interesting to you, pick it up. So yeah, I'm not mad about it, but I'm also not like stoked about it. I'm in the middle.
We both had kind of like meh weeks this week. Let's move in to our question. So after last week yelling at you and telling you you're wrong, I decided
to yell at me and tell me I'm wrong again.
No, David sent me a question via text message saying, because this has happened, I feel like, a few times this year to some people. This is not an indie specific one. This is an industry wide one. What games, and I had real bad capitalization there, had your money until a controversy came out? So what game were you sold on before something happened? Ooh. Whether this is microtransactions, poor reviews, bad press, anything. So if you need time to think, I've got mine because I've obviously thought about this question beforehand.
Okay, you go first. Yeah.
So the one that I was super excited about, and I actually bought its predecessor, was Shadow of War. So I bought Shadow of Mordor for like $5. I'm going through it. I'm enjoying my time in it.
You are liking it?
And that's it's weird because I've played it because I played multiplayer games, so I'm hopping in and out.
You're not really a huge Lord of the Rings guy.
No.
Okay.
So I just did it because I heard Shadow of War is like, I heard it's a shout out to Josh, Last Good Milk Pig, who
he loves it.
He loves it. Yeah. So he's like, you need to try it, and I was like, oh, fine, it's on sale for $5. I'll pick it up. So I've been playing it, and I'm enjoying my time in it so far. I mean, I'm not that far in. I'm only like 3 or 4 hours in. So
you have to play it for quite a while before you feel comfortable.
Yeah,
was the thing I noticed.
But Shadow of War, like as it was coming out, was going to be breaking because the Nemesis systems, I think, is really cool when it comes to system in a game, and just the hype behind it. I was like, oh, this sounds awesome, and I don't necessarily have to play the first game to play this game, so I was going to jump in there when the new game came out, like, oh, let me try this, and then the loot box thing. So I was all hyped, ready to go. I was going to pre-order it, and I had it in my cart a couple times, and I think I've told you one of my things is not to pre-order any games. That's like a goal of mine, unless it's for the show and I know I want it. I pre-ordered like Skyrim because I knew I was going to play that on the show. But like for me personally, my goal after 2 years ago, I pre-ordered every gold edition under the fucking sun and only played like 2 of them. I'm not going to pre-order any games until I know to play them.
Wasn't it that Battlefront one?
Battlefront was 120. I played that game though.
True.
The one that I think
the DLC was not worth $120.
No, but I played the crap out of it. I played the DLC. It brought me back in the game. The one I'm most disappointed from was I got the gold edition of Just Cause 3, and I never made it to the DLC. Wow. Like, I should have just bought the base game.
Good game, though.
Yeah.
I just a lot of time.
Yeah. And if it was multiplayer, it would have been fucking fantastic. But no, Shadow of War was one of those games, like, the hype train was building. I was excited, ready to go, and then the loot box thing came out. And I've discussed it before on the show. I'm not against loot boxes as a thing. I'm not against loot crates or whatever the hell you want to call them as a thing. I'm against it when it affects gameplay, and this was one of the first aspects from everything I was reading where it affects gameplay, where I don't know what the final boss is, never really figured it out, but there's some big fight at the end where you have to collect orcs, and you can buy them and it's way quicker, or if you go through the game it's like another 20 to 30 hours, and it kind of felt like it's extending the game. I don't know, but that put me off of it enough that I was like, I don't want to buy it. I might get it on a sale at some point just to play it.
I haven't,
but
so I
was just like after it.
So I actually liked Shadows of War a lot, and I have not run into an instance where
have you made it to the end game?
Not yet,
because that's where I heard the end game. I heard is where it gets real ugly, which is sad because you're punishing people. You're punishing people for getting all the way to the end of the fucking game.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to games like this, I tend to take my sweet time with them anyway. Like, I'll do every single side quest and like special like booster thing because I know how difficult a game like this can get really quickly. So I've been spending most of my time just going and doing all the small things, like just getting better.
You're Blink-182ing it.
Yeah. And then so I'll probably be a hot second before I go anywhere near that final boss anyway. But yeah, no, I would say it is worth picking up on a sale. I don't think the loot boxes will. I don't think they negate your fun. Now, I haven't got far enough for it to be a problem with the final boss, but I will say that, even if you played through the entirety of a game like that and never did fight the final boss, you'd still get some worthwhile moments out of it. I thought of 2. Obviously, the one that I think is on everyone's lips, Battlefront 2.
See, I was going to say that, but I didn't buy it because of the controversy. I didn't buy it because of the first game.
No, well, see, I was willing to give this one a shot.
Yeah.
And this actually plays into my second one as well. I was willing to give Battlefront 2 a shot, not because the first game definitely was thin on the ground, but it impressed me enough with the graphics and the amount of like post-game content and stuff they put into it.
For $50.
It was a lot of DLC. It was expensive, but there was a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then
4
they put
planets.
VR stuff in there. You know, they really like kind of stretched that out. But I was right there until the loot box controversy came out, and I was just like, I can't support EA. And it wasn't even a case of like, I'm sure the game is great, I'm sure it's a really good game, but I'm just like, I can't support that behavior. Because I think that was like infinitely worse than anything Shadow of War was putting out there.
Oh yeah, I think Battlefront is the most egregious thing to this point when it comes to loot boxes, which is why a game that's not come out, but a game that I was excited for, and now I'm way less excited for, is Anthem.
Yeah,
like EA is gonna fuck that up somehow now.
It's annoying.
And it sucks because they make good games.
Yeah, it's like
it looks good.
I watched the EA the E3 spot they had or whatever it
EA
was.
Plays.
Yeah, where they played the first they played a gigantic match basically, like a 3-point match. And everything about it looked great. And I was like, man, I'm sold.
It's pretty looking.
There's a single player. Like they made every change I wanted them to make.
And then hour 23, they're like, by the way, here you go. Here's all the bad. I think what.
And then the apology was shitty too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, okay, we realized that we made a mistake, so we'll take them away. But they're coming back later. You know
the other thing too. Well, the initial apology, the one that got super downvoted on Reddit, was we made it as high as we did to give people a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, bullshit.
Yeah.
I will say one of the changes that they made that I like is the no fucking token hero thing. I hated the token hero where you had to pick up the hero token to become that thing because it's just a crapshoot. I like if. And I don't want to say I want EA to lose the Star Wars license, but I want somebody to make a good Star Wars game.
I want EA to lose the Star Wars license.
I want somebody to make a new Star Wars game.
I want Rocksteady to have the Star Wars license.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
I know, but I just think they do a really good job with it. I mean, they took a dead license in Batman and made it one of the most played video games ever.
What I really, really wanted a Star Wars game is Call of Duty style Star Wars. So, but I'm thinking like Modern Warfare 2, where you had the kill streak incentive. So maybe, and I think Battlefront 2, the original one, did this where you would get different troops unlocked as the better you played and all this kind of stuff. And I'd like that. Yeah. Do that. And then make me pay for skins. Make me pay, like, you know how many skins are in Star Wars that you could make people pay for? And you know how many people would pay for them? Mm-hmm. Do that. That's where you get, that's where your money's at.
That's where all your money's going to be.
Because, like, to me, like, for me, the example would be, and then I'll let you finish your thoughts here.
Go ahead.
But for me, like, let's use Luke as an example.
Sure.
So Luke has his I can't. What's the name of his home planet? I can't think. Not Alderaan. That's Leia.
His home planet.
Yeah.
Like
I can't think of it with the two suns. He has that. He has the white robe looking thing. That's what I'm trying to go for. He has the white robe.
I got you. Yeah.
He has the Hoth outfit. He has the Return of the Jedi outfit that are very iconic. Imagine them giving you get one of those in the base game, and then you could be Return of, like, I wouldn't care. It would be cool to play as Return of the Jedi Luke, or who knows, Last Jedi Luke. It would be cool to have those outfits, but it doesn't break the game if I don't. Mm-hmm. But there are people who are big enough Star Wars fans that would buy the shit out of that, of specific ones, especially if you're a fan of the original trilogy. Or like maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi, you can have. Then this is what I think Overwatch does really, really well, is like Genji in Overwatch has a young skin, like when he was younger before he became a robot, when he was still human, and then they have colored skin. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is a prime example. You could have old Ben, or you could have prequel Obi-Wan, or you could have
Ewan McGregor Ben.
Yeah, you could have different things going on there. So I don't know. I feel like the ability to make money is there. I think
they're just looking at the wrong place.
Well,
they fucked themselves on it. Let's be honest. They fucked themselves on it because the wider world was ready to give them whatever they wanted to, and they just got a little too greedy.
Yep.
Secondary game, same reason, kind of. Destiny 2. I honestly was thinking about picking up Destiny 2 for a while there. Because you were talking so much about it being amazing when you first got it, and everyone else was kind of into it. And I'm like, you know what? I did enjoy the gameplay and the gunplay and all that of the original Destiny. Like, all that stuff was really fun to me. I just felt like they hadn't finished the game. So if this is the same thing, but they finished the game and they make the post-game more interesting, then I'm with it. But then I thought to myself, nope, you fucked this up the first time. Don't buy it and wait and see what happens. And I guess at this point, talking to you, talking to other people with Destiny 2, the kind of consensus is they fucked it up again, right?
So I've probably put, I wouldn't say close to 100 yet, maybe not that much, but I put a lot of hours into Destiny 2. I don't think there's a way for me to track how much I have in it. But the base game itself, the campaign, loved it. The everything leading up to the end game, loved it. The end game, because I feel like now I'm one of those players, because we play almost every night, that comes back and like when a new raid comes out, I want to do the raids. I want to do the raid. Like that stuff is so good. It's just once you do that, you're doing the same shit over and over again. I have like 9,000 tokens that I can turn into people, and it's a slot machine vendor. They have made some really good quality of life changes. So prime example is one of the big gripes with vanilla Destiny 2 was when you turn tokens, which I hate the token system in general, into vendors, you didn't have a say in what you would get. So you could get the same piece of armor 4 times in a row. They now have it to where if you turn in, so each vendor has its own token. Say on Earth, I turn in 20 packages worth of tokens. I can then go to that vendor and say, oh, I still don't have the legs. I can buy those. So like for me, when Curse of Osiris came out, I had every single piece of armor other than I think I was missing, was it the helmet? I was missing one piece. And I go to Brother Vance, and I turned in enough things to be able to just buy it. And that was cool because then I had the whole piece of armor. What I really wish they would do, and it's the little things that affect the end game, because the gameplay itself is fantastic. Like it is gunplay, Bungie does wonderfully. But it's the little things that, like, when I have a full pieces of gear, I should have some sort of perk for having that. So whether if I have all of Mercury gear, maybe give me an extra token or like extra Division, thing when you have the
full gear set.
Yeah, like that should be a thing. And give me more rewards for doing certain things. And they're working on it. The problem I have with Bungie right now, and granted they've been off for a couple weeks as of holidays, but the big problem I have with Bungie is they say, we hear you, we're sorry, we hear you, we're sorry, we're listening to feedback, we're listening to feedback, we're listening to feedback. And at some point, it's a broken record. Just do something. Yeah, and I know it's not easy to fix things that quickly, but they've yet to prove to me, other than that one fix that I really, really liked with the vendors, but it's not in the scheme of the game, it's not a huge thing, but it could be for some people if I don't collect gear. But Curse of Osiris, they built up this infinite forest to be this amazing thing, and it's literally you run through the infinite forest to get to the cool points. The infinite forest should be a cool point. It's not procedurally generated because it's procedurally generated with pre-made pieces. So they connect differently every time, but they're handcrafted pieces. So there's only a certain number of things you can do. But that was so hyped up in the release of it, and then I got there and I was like, I don't like this part sucks. But then when you get to the point where you're going through the infinite forest to like the old Vex time on Mercury, like old Mercury, it's like you stop and you stare like this is what I want. Give me more of this. So yeah, Destiny, I think base game Destiny for the campaign, if you just want to play the campaign, I would say pick it up. I wouldn't say $60. I'd wait for like a $40 sale or something. But if you are going to be one person that comes back to the end game, like I'm not playing Destiny now because Crucible's broken. In my opinion, Brian and Pork and David still played. I cannot stand Crucible in this version of it, which is what kept me coming back to Destiny 1 a little bit, even though I didn't really play, but that's where I would play. And then the end game, like once you're done doing the big things, like how many times can you do a raid before you get tired once you have all the raid gear? Like, I don't know. It sucks.
There's not enough variety by the sounds of it, and that was kind of what I was concerned about to begin with. I'm glad that they did, at least fix like the length of the campaign and that kind of stuff. But you still
the campaign is way better.
Yeah,
that's what turned me off of Destiny 1. But again, the end game right now is completely because I watch Fireteam Chat from IGN. I watch a lot of Destiny YouTubers because I've been playing it and I want to know a little bit more. They've added a thing called Masterworks, which is really cool. But the thing I think they tried to do, and they've screwed up big time, is recently I heard they lost 85% of their player base, which happens in any big game like that. It's going to spike and then come down. But 85% is a lot. And I think what they try to do is they try to make a game for the mass audience without realizing that the hardcore audience is what's going to sustain them.
Yeah.
So they made all these cool things for people like me that's like, oh, hop in. You don't need nothing carries over from Destiny 1. Like, for me, that was great. Other people, that was a shitty move because you spent this much time in Destiny. Like, you had this little montage at the beginning, see who you did the raids with. That was, I guess, cool. But other than that, it didn't really matter to people. But they didn't spend enough time on the people that are going to stay in the game. And that's where I think they really screwed it up. And Eververse, microtransactions, everything is behind Eververse. The Dawning event, the winter event that just happened, I think it was like 95% of the items you get from the place where you can buy loot boxes. And that's an issue. Yeah. Give me a reward for doing something else.
There you go.
Like, let little things. Like we talked about Call of Duty. You getting your camo for killing 100, sniping 100 people with that gun. Do something like that. Let me kill 1,000 Vex with this gun, and
now
I get
got that diamond camo. I'm kind of like, I haven't been playing it as much, which sucks because I really enjoy the core gameplay of it.
But I'll
wait until Quarantine, the update and everything on the 31st, I think, of January that's coming out, and get back into it.
Yeah.
It's those are the two that really kind of like I was sold on it. I was like, yep, gonna do it, and then kind of just
dropped the ball.
Bottom dropped out. So there you go, Dave. That's your answer.
What do you guys think? What games were you sold on and just ended up not getting, or what game did you get and you just don't play? I mean, I've picked up games that I was hyped for and just.
I have that, but it's not about the quality.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah. That's a different ballgame now.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know what you guys think about that. This has been Indie Please Add Details, our weekly dip in the world of indie games and indie developers. We discuss our excursions throughout the week along with the news. Topping it all off with a topic of discussion that you can answer the question to, like, what are you doing? You like fingering your thing?
Smoke from it's just like going right in your face right now. I'm trying to avoid it from doing that.
So, like, what game did you not buy because the hype train ended up not working, or microtransactions, some sort of controversy? You can listen to us on your favorite podcast services: Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud. I'm missing one. iTunes. I was like, I'm missing the big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Or you can see us on YouTube with the cool studio at level2gamers.com. Hi, video people. You can continue the discussion on air, or off air, but online. On Twitter.
That's all you got to remember.
At Level2Gamers STL or Discord, link in the description. Thank you so much. My name's Keegan, one half of Level2Gamers, hanging out with Tom. This has been Indie Please Add Details, episode 19. We'll be back next week with episode 20. And tomorrow we have Codename Morpheus, episode 21? 22. With some crazy news from HTC Vive. So stay tuned tomorrow and see what we got there. But thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, welcome to the second level. Bye.
Ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.